Fantasy football. Now, this is actually about my fantasy, if that's cool.
With the helmet on?
Blue 32.
Wait, I'm off sides.
If your son wanted to play football, would you have an issue with that?
I wouldn't have an issue. I just wouldn't want it for him.
Got it. I know you take in about 3,400 calories for 40% protein, 35% carbs, 25% fats. No, I don't stalk you. You did an interview with us and it's online.
I was probably only getting about 1,500 calories a day. It was a struggle at first. Like I knew I didn't really eat, but I didn't know I didn't eat.
Mm-hmm. 10 seasons in the NFL, 2 Pro Bowls, Super Bowl ring. That's solid.
My last year was in Miami, and I went from Green Bay, very championship-driven organization, to the Vikings, who was having some culture shifts.
Okay.
In trying to get to that championship level mentality, going to Miami, which they were just trying to find their way. It was in a respectful way, it was dysfunctional.
Okay.
And then my family was in Minneapolis. I was down there, and it was just part of me was gone, not being fully present. It was a challenging year, one of the most challenging years that I ever had to play ball, and it just took a lot. It took a lot of the fun out of the game for me, and I knew right then I can't play if I'm not 100% all in, both physically and mentally. So just shut it down.
Injury-wise, were you feeling good? Like, were you waking up with pain every day?
No, injury-wise, I felt great. 100% healthy,
After 10 seasons as wide
totally
receiver?
healthy.
Damn.
I had very few injuries. Fortunately, I was very blessed with not having any major injuries. The typical bumps and bruises. I think the most severe injury I had was an MCL.
Huh. Did your family like moving around? Like, were they like, "Hey, we could stay in Miami. Why don't you play a couple more seasons?"
No, because they didn't come. Oh. They loved the warm weather when they did come down. But I was down there myself, pretty much had a home, and then they would come down periodically. But the wife and kids stayed in Minneapolis because the kids were entrenched in school. She had her business, and it was like we thought, and this is where parenting is like so challenging and you learn on the fly. We thought, okay, the best thing for everyone, specifically the kids, is that they stay.
Right.
Well, I didn't consider myself.
Yeah.
And I struggled.
Right.
So they were there. I'm struggling by myself because at that point in time, 11 years of marriage, never being away from my family, it was tough walking into an empty house every day.
And it also gives you a lot of time to think. And I know you have 4 kids, three girls and a boy. Did you think about which one you like the least? No?
I was not expecting that. No, because at that time, I had none of them that were irritating me or bothering me or
you just miss them all at that point.
You miss them all at that point. It's like, I wish they were getting on my nerves. I wish I could tell them to shut up. Leave me alone. Stop interrupting daddy when I'm in the restroom. It's like, you always get that? I'm on the toilet. Go away. No.
And it's probably a really important question too. Like, who knows?
Can I have a donut?
Yeah.
Can I have something to eat? The kitchen. Any other time you're sneaking and getting Pop-Tarts or whatever, just go get it.
There's any reason to bother you. My kid just turned 1, so it's been a cool ride. So you've got 4 kids.
Wait, boy, girl?
It's a girl.
Okay.
She's kind of talking. There's a lot of just like nonsense happening. And, we're pretty loose parents, but at 13 months, if she's not doing chores and pulling her weight, she's out.
Start them early.
Yeah.
Start them early. Because I'm telling you right now, when you start them late, they think that somebody else is supposed to be doing what they should have been doing from jump. And they start asking questions to people who are helping them.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make my bed? No, you make your own bed.
Are your kids all athletes? I know one is like specifically like I think you said that she can out crunch you at this point. Like
yeah, man. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I got a volleyball player.
Okay.
She plays on a club team. She's 13. She plays on the 14s team. And then a gymnast. The gymnast is competitive. She's level 7. Damn. Then my youngest daughter plays tennis. And my son plays basketball. And then they all swing the golf clubs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
If your son wanted to play football, would you have an issue with that?
I wouldn't have an issue. I just wouldn't want it for him.
Got it.
Simply because I understand how vigorous that sport is, what it can do, the potentials that lie within the game that aren't great when it comes to concussions and just different things like that, the neck injuries,
right?
And, just the wear and tear it takes and the toll it takes on your body overall, and the longevity that you have of life and wanting to remain healthy. And going through something like that, a car crash every single day, forget just the games, practice,
right?
Like beating up, like pounding your body every day. I just wouldn't want that for him. But if he wanted to do it, I would support him. Like I put every other ball in front of him now.
Yeah.
And he only seems to really want the football, even though he doesn't even know how to play football. That's how much I've kind of
pull back
alleviated football from his presence.
I know you've taken about 3,400 calories for 40% protein, 35% carbs, 25% fats. No, I don't stalk you. You did an interview with us and it's online, muscleandfitness.com. But how has that been? Was that a transition that was difficult for you, and also having to eat more often?
Yes.
I mean, it's
yes. It was a struggle at first because what I found, like I knew I didn't really eat, but I didn't know I didn't eat. Like if I were to put a number on it, a caloric number on it, I would probably say before I started training, I was probably only getting about 1,500 calories a day, maybe 2,000 calories a day, because I would I possibly would eat a breakfast, but then I would just snack. And some days it would be literally just dinner because you're the hustle and bustle of the day. Yeah. I'm drinking. I've always been a water drinker, but now being on this regimented eating plan where I'm eating every 2.5 hours, and I know exactly what I am going to eat. And I'm kind of prepping my meals. I don't like prepping to where they're completely done and then they're not, my meat isn't fresh, my protein isn't fresh. I like fresh protein that I can cook right then and there. Unless I'm traveling like now, then it's a little more of a challenge. But yeah, man, I'm up to actually, like, I got up to almost 4,000 calories per day since the interview.
All right.
And now I just recently dropped back down to 3,600 calories a day. So
now you're working with 2 trainers, correct?
I'm working with one trainer.
One trainer. Okay.
Yes.
So would that be Chris
Ketting?
Chris Ketting. Okay. I thought you were working with someone in New York as well, but maybe they're just a friend.
Yeah, that's just a friend. I was training. He actually connected me with someone here just recently, just this week, really.
What was the first thing when you got hooked up with Chris? What was the first thing that you guys did, like, to start down this path? Did he take any assessments? Was he like, let's just see, where you need work? Like, did he evaluate you? I'm just curious as to how you get going.
Yeah, so we had a conversation. I actually sat down with 4 different trainers and wanted to see and gauge who would be the best fit for me from not only a training perspective, but just your trainers, they're like one of your closest friends now. Like, you talk to them more than almost anyone.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to have and be able to develop a great relationship and have a great rapport. And his vibe, his energy was just right on point.
That's cool.
Kind of calm, cool and collected, not a too low individual, kind of similar to myself. And so I took a liking to that. But when we first started, we jumped right into it, but it was a matter of assessing me and watching me do the movements and then showing me how to actually execute the movements the correct way.
Got it.
And that was huge for me because it allowed me to, right out the gate, just lift and lift the way that I thought was correct. But then, not that it wasn't correct, But in order to make the gains that I needed to make, in order to have the impact that I wanted that particular movement to have on my body, to see the result and create the change and the transformation, I had to do it a little differently. And everything has been like that. And it just intensifies every single rep, every single set, every single workout.
It can be frustrating though as a beginner, because you think that you're training the right way, and then when someone's correcting you because they're watching what you're doing, it can almost feel uncomfortable when you have to switch from the bad habits you've adapted over the years. Now, does it get to the point where I feel like I would get frustrated and be like, "Oh yeah, Chris, let me see you run a button hook," so you'd have something on him to be like, "Yeah, that was a shitty pattern, man."
Okay, so to that point, like for me, it was very important that my trainer that I was going to be working with wasn't, or I should say, could do exactly what he was trying to get me to do.
Got it. Okay.
Like, so it's. He needed to look the part.
Yeah, of course.
Like
yeah.
it's hard. And this is no knock against trainers who aren't looking the part.
Who look like bags of flour.
Yeah, there's no because they may have all the information and they may be able to be phenomenal trainers, but they're not for me because I need to look at you and know, okay, yeah, you're doing the same thing. And then when I need to see it, I need you to jump into that working set really quick or that warm-up set and show me and see like, yeah, this dude is put together. Yeah. Like
I do. It instills the confidence in you that you're getting the right direction and that you're going to be going down the right path.
Exactly.
Have you decided yet on when you want to step on stage? And I know it.
So I have.
Oh, you have? All right. Have. Where will this be? So we will all be there. We're all going.
So I am, I say I haven't signed up yet.
Okay.
But
the page is open on your computer.
The page is open on my computer. It's a competition in May.
Okay.
May 20th, that weekend. In Minneapolis.
Okay, in Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis, where, I think it's Mr. and Mrs. Fit or something like that.
Okay. Now, do you want us to just threaten some people so they don't show up? So if you only show up, you have to win. So we can just try to get everybody else.
No, I don't want that. There's actually a competition, NPC competition in July.
Okay.
That I was considering, and here's my deal. Like, again, I'm a rookie at this, and I'm very big on just keeping my head down and working and absorbing knowledge and information, and so I don't enter into someone else's field and just automatically think, oh, I'm the guy. I don't care what I've done. That's not my personality. And so I set out on this journey wanting to get physically fit and look a certain way. And men's physique is what attracted me right out the gate. Doing it in a natural way. That's the only thing I've ever known. I didn't start taking all these supplements until really now. I had never really taken anything, even while I played, believe it or not. And so for me, an NPC competition just opens the door to so much. Where I'm just, with laying my ego aside, I would be at an extreme disadvantage.
You and your trainer must have areas which you want to focus on. What would they be for you?
For me, it was right out the gate, my upper chest.
Okay.
That was where, like, lower chest, so I did a lot of bench pressing. So my chest was not an issue, but when you're training for a competition,
it's different.
You need a full chest.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need a bottom. You need a full chest.
You need to be symmetrical.
Everything has to pop. And what I drastically noticed was the lack of upper chest that I had.
How did you attack it?
A lot of incline pressing. That's all I do. I do not do any flat bench.
Does it hurt your shoulders?
It does not hurt my shoulders. And here's the thing. I shouldn't say always, but I used to have a lot of shoulder issues, especially when I did barbell incline or bench press. because it was a fixed position, and just the way that I would press, I would start to get outside of myself and kind of use those shoulders. Well, the way that I'm training now, I have absolutely, and this is why I love and I get so excited about training now, because the goal is to stay injury free.
Yeah.
Like, and so the way you train is so important, and the way you execute a movement is so important. And so for me, I've had no shoulder issues, no limb issues. Like, it's been the healthiest and the best my body has ever felt. Like, ever.
Wow.
And I would have never thought that I would go back to lifting heavy weight.
I'm going to bring in the wheel. We don't have a name for it yet, but we're thinking about calling it 5 reps or 6 reps, because we give 6 spins of this wheel.
Okay.
And it corresponds to, it allows us to know more about you. We're going to spin this baby.
All right.
And it's going to land on something. And each thing corresponds to something I have written down. And then we're just going to learn about you in the best way possible.
Okay.
All right. I'll spin first.
Okay.
Because I'll show you how it's done. Like, I'll give you the, just
Absolutely.
like when you're training.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I'll go first, right? So I like to give it a quick, give one of these, and then sometimes, so
is that how we do it? Is that
not usually, but fantasy football. Now, this is actually about my fantasy. See, I want to know what it's like to throw touchdown passes, like when you were in Super Bowl XLV. I don't know the Roman numeral, so I just call it that. What is that? Super Bowl, it was
45.
XLV, baby. That's what we're going with. I just want to pretend like I'm there, and I'm going to throw a pass to you, if that's cool.
With the helmet on?
I'll wear it. Is that cool? Are you game?
Absolutely.
Blue 32. Blue 32.
Wait, I'm off sides.
All right, guys, let's run it back.
Okay.
Set. Hut, hut. Woo!
Yeah.
Foul. Traveling, icing.
Your turn to
Here we
spin.
go. Okay, here we go.
You could give it a real spin. And if it lands on that, we'll just skip it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at that. Here we go. Here we go.
We're still perfecting the wheel.
Oh, yes.
Okay, what were you thinking? Now, I'm going to ask you something, and you're going to tell me what you were thinking at that moment. So, the minute that clock hits 0 and you become a Super Bowl champion, what goes through your head?
Don't false cry. Like, I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
But like you've watched like the clock hit zeros and then guys just automatically hit the ground and start crying. And I'm like,
yeah,
don't be that guy. Just go with whatever emotion is really there.
Yeah.
And so it was such an exciting moment, and we didn't really know what was going on. I kind of felt like we were gonna win, and the clock hit those 000s, and I just started jumping up and down. Like it was just so surreal. It was almost like you had a lack of emotion. You were kind of empty because you wanted to feel something, or you were anticipating feeling a certain way because of what you had seen or how you viewed everybody else celebrate. And it was like, okay, I'm not crying. Okay, I'm good. Okay, It was kind of a crazy lack of mixture of emotion.
When you were drafted in 06, you realized you'd be catching passes from Brett Favre. What was that? I mean, and did he throw the ball as hard as people say he did?
Okay, so I'm going to answer the questions in reverse.
Got it.
He definitely threw the ball as hard as people said. As far as the finger breaking and all of that, I never encountered it, never experienced it, so I'm not saying he didn't.
Right.
Caught him kind of at the back end. It was Brett Favre. It was like kind of, again, surreal. Like, man, I'm about to be playing with Brett Favre. But when I got the call, now this is a kicker. So the night before, I go out with a buddy, one of my best friends, and he gets drafted as well in the 5th round later. And we talk about where we don't want to go. Number 1 place, Green Bay. I don't want to go to Green Bay. Kid you not, true story. I don't want to go to Green Bay. So that night
green doesn't work. Green doesn't work.
Green doesn't work.
Yeah.
Green doesn't work for me. I'm from Michigan. Green doesn't. No. And so that evening or some point in that day, I get a call, 920 area code, and it was someone from Green Bay, and they were checking to see if this was going to be my working phone number. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I had only talked to them at the combine, never had trained, never worked out, never anything. So I'm like, whatever. But this is protocol for most teams.
Yeah.
They call you, make sure you have the working number. And so, but that was the last number that I got a call from on my phone.
Oh, man.
Fast forward to the next day. My phone rings. Kid you not. I look down. Well, I flip it up.
Yeah, that's 06, right?
I flip it up, open, and I see 920. My face. Kid you not. I'm like, I'm sick.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I answer the phone, and it's Mike McCarthy. Nope, it's Jimmy Robinson. And Mike McCarthy, they get it on the phone. Are you ready to be a Green Bay Packer? You excited? But we're going to take you here at the 52nd pick. You ready? I'm like, absolutely, can't wait.
Yeah.
Completely shifted gears right as I'm picking up the phone. But that initial look.
Then you false cried. Like, no.
Of just.
I could just picture it being like, it's like, no, this isn't Greg. Greg's not here. He's like, you know.
I mean, it was one of those moments where it was like, initially it was like I was bummed out.
Yeah.
Because it was Green Bay, but then it was like you're getting drafted.
Right.
Second round.
Yeah.
You're about to play with Brett Favre.
Right.
Like you're going into it live bullets with one of the best.
Yeah. 3 tips on staying fit after you hit the age of 30.
Don't not work out. Like just go. Like don't. And what I mean by that is like a lot of people want to rest and say, you know, I'm just gonna let my body rest, and you think that you're doing your body a service there, but it's like your body is built to literally work, to get bigger, to get stronger, to stay fit, to help you continue to maneuver and go through the hustle and bustle of the day. Let your body lead you. Mm-hmm. Like if you're having aches and pains, then it's typically because of what you're not doing. And so that would be my first tip. And then the second tip is you got to get on your nutrition. Like I can't emphasize it enough, but just the results, if you do decide not to actually work out, if you can lock in a regimented meal plan of just eating healthier, more consistent. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to be clean.
Right.
Just healthier. You're gonna get results just simply by that. Mm-hmm. Third, it always helps to have someone.
Yeah.
It always helps to have someone because you're gonna do more. You're gonna push yourself a little bit more. You're gonna get pushed a little bit more. You just naturally respond and want to do and perform more and better when there's someone watching you.
I spin.
Here we go.
Sorry, I cheat this. Standout speech. Okay. This is an actual replica of the standout. Now, it's reserved for open bodybuilding. You've dominated the scene, and you show up at the Olympia, and you win everything. You won fitness, you won bikini, and you won men's physique, and you also won the open. That's how good you looked. Now, we need to know what your speech would be.
First and foremost, this is such an honor. I would not even be here standing holding this if it weren't for all these guys behind me. These were my inspirations when I even thought to start. My trainer, I could not have done this by myself. Obviously, I was committed. I wanted to put the work in, but I didn't know that this was even possible. So thank you. Thank you.
That was strong. That was good. That
was that the false cry? Was that
yes?
The real
I was
thing?
trying. I was trying to squeeze them out. So before we go, where can people find you on social media? Where can they find you on the television?
So I'm a Fox Sports analyst. So I'm on all the FS1 shows until they give me this full-time gig here in New York at First Things First. Y'all listen to that.
Yeah, that's right. Let's call them up.
For sure. But I'm the official GJ on Instagram.
Okay.
At Greg Jennings on Twitter. That's me, man. That's where you find me.
I'm really happy that you stopped by. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.